Okay, there we go. Welcome everybody to the Asia Pacific and West Coast time slot for mentoring for Kubernetes project. As always, we are under the CNCF Code of Conduct, so behave. And welcome everybody. To start out with, for those of you who missed the last couple of contributor experience or this kind of meetings, because of people changing time zones, we have shuffled the purpose of the meetings without changing the time slot. So this meeting is now general mentorship, which includes the new contributor workshop, as opposed to being entirely about the new contributor workshop. A lot of that has to do with the fact that Allison moved to London. And so we also needed a European time slot for new contributor workshop. And so we shuffled things around. Oh, and we were having a separate mentoring meeting for Asia Pacific that was getting very low attendance. This is also the general mentoring meeting. So let us get started. However, new contributor workshop is included in mentoring. It is a project of mentoring. So let's go ahead and get started with that. As of the last meeting, we had assigned almost all segments to various people. There we go. And so almost all the video segments have been assigned. I know a couple people on this call were taking them. Has anybody gotten as far as actually starting to record their segment?
No.
Yep.
I had a conversation with Paris and we went over the old slides a couple weeks ago, but then I had a bunch of things, so I haven't gotten around to recreating the slides yet, but that's kind of where I'm at. Is I've got plans for how I'm going to recreate the slides.
Yeah, I haven't done anything on my segment, mostly because stuff has been going on. Not the least of which was my state being on fire, which is fortunately doing better now, although California is now doing worse. Wait, YN or IN? Case low.
Hello everyone. I feel like I should introduce myself slightly. So I work with Hippie at II, and so I'm going to be involved with helping out with the parts that Hippie took on Hippie took it on behalf of II, and so we have II folks here, and so it can help give updates on that side. And it's a similar boat to you, Kazlin, of worked through slides and discussed it, but not yet to the point of recording video.
Okay. I mean, it's fine. You guys took on like the most difficult chunk of this, honestly, I think. Because among other things, it's the chunk that needs to change the most. So are you seeing anything where you are definitely going to need help from people outside of II?
I think so. And one of our bigger questions, I guess, is just if there are known deadlines, because that will help us see if depending on the amount of time we have before the next NCW, can help understand how much of a bite we took off.
Yeah. Our rough goal is to have something for people before the next KubeCon, which is November 17th, I believe. So yeah, that is our rough timeline.
I think ideally, if slides and everything can be done within end of October, and then the recording, before KubeCon, that would be, not necessarily ideal deadlines, but reasonable deadlines.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, one of the other things to think about, since you guys are taking on the whole build and test business, is that the build and test chunk of this is the chunk that is going to need to be revised the most regularly. So it's almost like don't put too much effort into it, because we'll have to redo pieces of it in 6 months because tools will have changed. Like, I think have we gotten rid of Basil yet?
Basil's still part of the
Yeah,
soup.
Sadly, not yet.
sadly. Like I said, it's super amusing for me because, like, the first contributor summit I came to, that was the big topic of discussion and argument, was adopting Basil in the first place. So yeah, but I mean, that's the example of, so it's almost like we almost kind of want something minimal to get people established, even if we had the ability to produce something elaborate, just because that'll be easier to keep up to date. Okay, and the other thing is Tim Hawkins said okay to using his presentation for reviewing, um, which will be another segment out of the way pending editing. I have not actually looked at the recording quality. Okay. Anything else on new contributor workshop? Okay. Next segment is the various mentorships. We are doing Community Bridge this term, which is the replacing civs for our voting and probably incidentally everybody else's. We don't have other community bridge projects this term around. Nobody likes taking on winter term for mentoring, which is probably why we also don't have an outreachy project this term. Are there any other programs going on at this time? Google Summer of Code won't start up until January.
We do currently have Season of Docs going.
Okay.
But that is in progress right now. We already have the mentee. So I'm not sure if that's necessarily something to, report on here.
No, it's something to report status on, which you just did.
Okay. It's Rin. They're going through and updating our contributor guide and applying the style guide to all our documentation to essentially give it one tone and one voice, just because it's a bit of a hodgepodge by a couple dozen different people, all with different ways of laying out docs and different styles, and it does make it a little difficult going from page to page.
Yeah. Yes, I guess it does. Okay. Oh, that's awesome. Okay. So yeah, no, I mean, like, the reason why we have video meetings is so that you can keep track of what's going on with projects you're not intimately involved in, right? Because there's stuff that people aren't intimately involved in. And yeah, so Google Summer Code, not yet. By the way, thinking for next cycle for the sort of spring cycle with Community Bridge. We have a fair amount of money in our Community Bridge account. So we will, starting in January, I guess, we will want to think about hitting up the various SIGs to see if there is a Community Bridge project they would like to propose. Because that's donated money. We ought to be spending it on an intern somewhere to do stuff. Regardless of what that stuff is. Same thing with Outreachy. We have a sponsorship that my employer put in like 9 months ago. If we don't use it for something Kubernetes by the next term, they will use it for someone else. So we should make an effort to actually get an Outreachy internship for the next cycle. Anything else for mentorship?
So I have kind of a random idea that literally thought of earlier today.
Mm-hmm.
This would definitely be a long-term goal because it really requires more SIG-specific involvement. But I would love to see either a SIG-specific contributing documentation or courses, just because each SIG sort of has their own particular workflow and areas of expertise. Other useful things like this could literally go in their community repo for each SIG, essentially like contributing.md, with links to the good first issues for those SIGs, things to read up on for those SIGs. SIG Network, as a great example of go look up IP tables and IP, the link libraries and all that other fun stuff. This is mostly, it sort of goes along, contributor docs. But I think like long term, if we want to grow more, from members to like reviewers, having these avenues would be a good idea. Essentially, SIG specific, methods of growth. Or even if that's not necessarily a good idea, for people to start thinking about that sort of thing. Sorry, it was.
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say we have something similar in OpenStack where we have like all of the common contributor guide information that applies to like all of the OpenStack projects. And then each individual project has their own, like, this is how we review code. This is how our stuff is structured. This is the like core review team and like that sort of thing. So it's definitely like a good idea.
Nice.
Yeah, I think that would be a really good idea, particularly for some of the SIGs that I know that have very different workflows. Although the one with, I think, kind of the most different workflow, well, actually the two with the most different workflows also already kind of have this. Because both SIG docs and SIG cluster lifecycle, those are the two SIGs that actually have documented their own contributor workflows. And maybe we should look at those as examples.
One thing I want to note about both those is that they also operate pretty much exclusively outside of KK.
Yeah.
Honestly, operating outside of KK is significantly easier to get going with things. Also, Josh, thank you for typing up notes as I was randomly spewing out my idea.
Yeah, well, yeah, so, I mean, I think it's a good idea. I would say, unless somebody in the meeting, the question is somebody in the meeting eager to take this on right now? somebody who's not working on one of our other projects. So this could be something we start right now if somebody's interested in leading it, who is not currently working on one of the other things. Otherwise, this sounds like a great project for after we've got the new contributor workshop in the can. Because again, it's a lot of getting people from all over the project to do things.
Yeah. I'm definitely okay with punting it till after NCW. It was just a thought I wanted to get on, get people thinking about it, and other methods of, potentially avenues for growth for contributors.
Mm-hmm. Actually, so we've been taking a lot of time, and we've got folks on here. Want to circle around and just do a quick raise hands of what people are currently working on in terms of mentorship or contributor experience. And just circle around real quick. I will start in how Zoom presents the order for me. Rianne? Am I pronouncing that right?
That's right, yes.
Okay. Rianne, you want to go ahead?
Sorry, good.
Say hi, because I don't think Zach has met you, and then say what you're currently working on in terms of contributor experience or mentoring, if anything, or say, hey, I'm dealing with this other stuff right now, so I haven't been able to work on anything.
Yes, at the moment I'm part of the II team,
Yeah.
and we have taken up quite a big chunk. Zach is leading the charge at the moment, and I think as he's got it sorted out, the team will probably work on various bits of it.
Oh, okay. I didn't know you were part of the IA team, so you have met Zach. Okay.
Yes.
See, I needed to know that. That was the problem. Okay. Stephen?
I'm in the same boat. I work with both Zach and Hippie and Rian.
Yeah.
So once Zach's got a few more things along, I'll probably be helping in proofing and guinea pigging the output for feedback internally.
Cool. Is anybody else here on the IA team? We got the whole group now.
We're everywhere.
That's
Okay. Caslin?
Hi, everyone. I'm Caslin, and I'm not at II. I'm at Google. I run the Kate's contributors Twitter account, and I'm helping with the new contributor workshop, giving a couple of those presentations. And like I mentioned earlier, I've kind of gone over those slides and am planning to do some remake on them, and we'll be working on that.
Kendall?
So I'm not doing like a ton of stuff particular to like Kubernetes. I try to bring like advice of things that have failed or succeeded in the OpenStack community. But I have like attended the new contributor workshop and given feedback and helped Guinevere with various things. She and I did like a talk at the most recent KubeCon, and we're trying to get one together for AddyCon that's in January. So it's kind of more periphery things, but always interested to hear what's going on.
Cool. Yeah, and for people who didn't already know, Kendall it's Open University?
Upstream Institute.
Upstream Institute, okay.
Close enough.
For OpenStack. For their contributor training.
Yeah.
So
Mars?
I'm here just to volunteer and help with wherever I can. Anything.
Cool.
Anything I want. Basically, I'm free. So if anyone needs any help, I'm here. As long as it does not involve any video recording.
Okay. There's a lot to do that involves writing.
I could help with that, yes.
I think there was a bug open for writing a video recording guide for the new contributor workshop, right? Has anyone
Yep.
taken that?
I started on it, but I would be thrilled to have somebody take it away from me.
I can help. Yes.
Cool.
Cool.
Let me send you, I got the video recording guide from KubeCon, which I finally got permission to recycle that material. So let me send you that, because like what I was currently working on was cutting and pasting those chunks into a more appropriate structure for our people. And yeah, and that would be great. So I will tag you on that. Okay, Bob, not that everybody doesn't know you, but.
Hi, I'm Bob Killen, or Mr. Bobby Tables. I am a chair for SIG Contributor Experience and sort of have my finger in every pie under Contributor Experience right now. The thing that I am actively working on is rolling out the issue triage changes to KK. You probably saw an announcement about that earlier today on the KDev mailing list.
Yeah, I'm about to write that up for LWKD. So, and I'm Josh. I, among other things, help Marky run this. I've been involved in the new contributor workshop effort since it started, and am continuing to do new contributor workshop things, as well as we'll get dragged into contributor workshop whenever Bob actually decides to start planning that.
In Contributor Summit?
Contributor Summit, right, sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
The, okay. It always helps. We see each other at a lot of stuff, and then we lose track of, like, for example, who's a member of II and who's working on what. So. Okay. So that out of the way, does anybody have anything else for the mentoring meeting? Sounding like a no. Everybody's working on something.
I'm actually about to send out a survey regarding contributor summits.
Okay. Do you already have access to, well, we can talk about this online. Okay. Well then, everybody knows where to find people on Slack, etc. And I will see people at various other meetings, and then at this one again in 2 weeks. Great, thanks.
Thanks, Josh.
Bye.
Thank
Actually,
you.
one quick thing. Watch
Yeah.
the mailing list for a doodle poll for the EU session, if that, or NAEU session, if you are interested in attending that. That should probably go out either this week or next week. I want to talk to Allison about it first.
Okay.